Hello and welcome to the No Boss Podcast. I'm your host Patrick McDonald. With me, co-host Sheldon Kaufman. Today is a bi-weekly NBA recap. It's getting pushed back a little bit more than the normal bi-weekly, but we're gonna be on schedule from now on. Soto news ended up evening it out anyway. Before we get started here, Sheldon, I'm sure you have the trivia question
Yes, we do
ready.
have a trivia question. I'm deciding to take it not too crazy on you this time. I gave you a real hard one the last time we did this. So Patrick, who is the Brooklyn Nets all-time leading scorer
Okay,
currently?
this I know this one, and it's Brooke Lopez. How
All right, very good, very good.
I feel like a lot of diehards know that one. How close is the next player to Brooke Lopez is what I want to know.
Um, let's see. I know the next guy was Buck Williams, but
Would
you
not have
know,
been my
of
guess.
course. Do you think they'd have points like one of the first? Okay, here we go. Four more points than the next guy.
Buck Williams, and then the
Yeah.
the most active net is probably Cam Thomas, like
Yeah, I
way
mean
farther
probably, yeah.
down.
Yeah. Vince Carter, who's third, is 2,000 behind him, which is crazy that Vince Carter's on that list.
Yeah, that would have been one of my next couple guesses. I think Kenya Martin would have been my first guess, who was second. Um, Yeah, it's going to be a while before there's a change there too, because
Yeah, for
I
sure.
I think they're going to move a lot of their current guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, first topic. Let's get started. Um, I wrote this one down at first, so we're going to do it first. Orlando Magic, their two-star wings prove that they're the same player because Franz Wagner goes crazy with Palo Out and then gets hurt with the same exact oblique injury right as Palo is about to come back. So I think this is confirmation that they are the same basketball player, and we shall treat them that way for the rest of their careers. So, on a more serious note, what's your first topic that you have to talk about?
I'm gonna start off glim. I don't even know if that's a word. Grim.
Grim.
Wizards no win November. Washington Wizards had no win in November's had no wins in November. It sucks. Not only did we not win, we got killed in every single game. And it's really looking like we're going for Cooper Flag, maybe Ace Bailey if the Jazz end up sucking worse than us somehow, which is what it's looking like. So yeah, that's what I wanted to get first off.
Yep. I wrote down Wizards snap shriek because they have now snapped. It was 19 games. Yeah, they snapped the 19 game win streak. They didn't quite reach Pistons territory. Um, they are in no means of uh, n- not being able to go on another big losing streak like that again. Um,
I think we
I
just started last night.
yep, y'all lost again last night. Uh, is no in November 2 years in a row, a player has or a team has accomplished it. I think it's hilarious. And I think it's even more funny that it was the Wizards
All
after
right.
Kuzma said
Oh
he'll be
yeah,
that team. That's
he
funny
had
to
to
me.
tweet that. He had to tweet that.
He
Like,
had to. He's given y'all no win November, and now he's about to get traded. That's funny. Uh, I'd written down a couple teams. First non-team storyline. The in-season tournament produced us some good games. I went to one of the games. I went to the Hornets and Knicks. Um, how have we felt about the in-season tournament this year?
it's been really good. I feel like all the games have been super competitive. I think that the players are actually caring about them. Like you've been seeing this stuff with, you know, the Knicks talking about how Jalen Brunson wants to give bonuses out. Josh Hart wants the AP. Like the players are playing for stuff. We're getting really good games, competitive games, close games. I mean, it's been fun to watch. Because like the game that you went to, Pat, the Knicks should have killed him, and that was like a super close game. I think it was like 2 points or 3 points.
Just
So
Yeah, they hit a
It's like a different feel.
they hit a three at the buzzer to cut it to one. No Lamelo,
Was
no
it
Mark
was
Williams.
it Josh Green or T Salon?
It was Josh Green. He had like a
Josh Green.
toilet
Yeah.
bowl shot that spun around the rim for like 3 seconds. Like probably the funniest way I've seen a game end. Um, a bunch of really fun in-season tournament games. The Hawks end up winning their group with the Celtics in it. Um, that was really fun. The other East team is Orlando. Um, and wait, did Indiana? No,
No,
Indiana didn't win.
Milwaukee.
I meant Cleveland or Milwaukee because I knew they were in the same thing. So yeah, Milwaukee, Boston, Atlanta, and then out west.
That West game, those West games are going to be good.
Those West games have been really good. Was it
It's
Dallas?
it's it's Mavericks Thunder, and then it's going to be Warriors Rockets. So I mean, those are going to be some two good games, two late night games. Pat, you know how we love our late night games. I can't. I'm actually super excited to watch those. So
Yeah. So the two teams who I wrote down to talk about today, we've mentioned in the in-season tournament stuff. The Knicks and the Rockets were the two teams that I really wanted to talk about because they've really taken off past week or two. Or I wrote down the Bucks as well because they have turned their season around. So let's talk about the
yep,
Bucks first. Um, it all came after the NBA Centel tweet where the meme account posted Doc Rivers has decided to care about coaching, and then they went on. I don't know. They at least won 8 out of 10. Really turned their year around. I'm sure this has a lot to do with your MVP ballot. Giannis has been going crazy over the past 2-3 weeks. I mean, it's been a crazy turnaround, like right away for Milwaukee. Because last time we talked about them, they were in the boat with another Eastern Conference team that we've agreed to not talk about, and it looked like a disaster season. But I mean, maybe this speaks to the quality of the East a little bit. They've made a lot of change early on. What did you have Milwaukee wise?
yeah. I mean, like you said, a huge part of it is due to Giannis. I think there's no doubt in that. Damian Lillard's also having a really good season for him. He's oh, oh, oh. He's averaging 25 points per game. He's getting stuff done on playmaking wise, 7.5 assists per game. And they're getting back Middleton, Pat. Last two games he's been playing. He's obviously on a minutes restriction. I think it's about 20 minutes per game. But he's put up 11 points in both games against Brooklyn and Boston. Giannis is going out there every night and dropping a triple double, a 30-point triple double every night. He's getting a lot more confident in his jumper, especially in the mid range area with those pull up jumpers. Uh, this, it, I know we've been talking about it for a while, but I think that his jumper is getting to the point where he could maybe become a consistent 3-point shooter. Obviously, he's really struggling with that still, but it's definitely becoming more consistent. Giannis is a beast. Everyone's playing together well. Gary Trent's starting to hit 3-pointers. The bench is playing good. Once Middleton comes back, this is going to be the Bucks team that I think I had maybe top five,
I think we
and
both
that
did.
the Bucks team that we know and love. You know, the good Bucks. Uh,
Yeah, I think we both had them top five preseason. I think you were a little more optimistic on them. I've had them like somebody has to be top five area. They're really good. Middleton is quite understated how important he is to Milwaukee. I think by a lot of fans, just because he does look older out there, but like then you realize his offensive game is fundamentally kind of the same. It's just he doesn't really play defense anymore because he used to be pretty solid on the defensive end. And Giannis, man, like he is what happens when it's like if you made Patrick Beverly 6'11" and one of the best athletes of all time. Like he really cares, and I feel like among other star players, like I don't think anybody is as head down play your ass off as Giannis Antetokounmpo is. and I mean, he's playing probably the best he's ever played over the last 2 years. Really, he has been. Um, Giannis is awesome. I mean, that's very uh, basic, and everybody can tell you that. But Giannis is awesome. Uh, to move forward, Knicks or Rocket? Let's go Rockets. Um, they are currently second in the Western Conference right now. Uh, did they lose one game or did they go undefeated in in season tournament?
I have no clue.
I just it was one of the two. Um, currently, per Basketball Reference, they have the second defensive rating in the league, and they have the fourth highest strength of schedule. Um, this team is like awesome defensively. I wouldn't be surprised if they were the best defense in the league by season's end, just because of how high their strength of schedule's already been. And then you look at things; they're like average to slightly below average on offense. And none of their guys really shoot the ball efficiently. When we talked about them previously, like they rebound offense and defensively. They don't turn the ball over and they play defense. And they're awesome at it. Just a little bit of early season lineup data with Amen Thompson, Tari Eason, Alperen Sengun on the floor in 145 minutes. They're plus 10.78. If you add Fran VanVleet to that in 71 minutes, they're plus 20 and a half. Like they're called the Terror Twins, Amen Thompson and Tari Eason. They're awesome defensively. They're so tall and so athletic. They're just awesome players. Any Rockets conversation points that you have?
Um, Something that stands out to me is that they're a super deep team. I'm seeing a lot of guys that are getting it done. Like you said, they're not a team that has guys that are going to go out there and shoot the lights out efficiency wise. We know that when one of their main shot takers is Jalen Green, but they're able to get it done. Everyone contributes. I mean, their lineup goes deep down like 7, 8 guys really, all that can score the ball well. There was the game that they just played against the Thunder. Great game. I don't know if you caught that one that I wrote down in my
I
notes.
wish.
Fred VanVleet, like you said, the defense. VanVleet ended up locking up um, someone on the last shot, and they didn't end up getting the last shot. Really good game. Yeah, this Thunder's team, like you said, fourth in strength and schedule, and they're 16-8. This is a team that can really compete in the playoffs. I think, especially if they can maintain this high seeding. It's going to be hard to maybe make a run in the West, but they're a team that could possibly do it. At least win one or two series.
Yeah, I wish I would have been more bullish preseason because even more than you, really love this Rockets team. I think I ended up having them as a 7 seed. I wish I would have gone farther because I don't think anything that has happened with their individual players has been out of what I considered possible. And yeah, this Rockets team is awesome. If I had to compare them to a recent playoff team, it would be the Timberwolves from a year ago. Um, that's how they kind of feel to me. They're not a great offense. They're going to be really buoyed by guys with near league average efficiency taking a ton of tough shots. That's what the Timberwolves were a year ago. And they make it up with their defense. I also want to shout out Alperen Sengun because he does look a lot better defensively. Um, he's kind of reached the point where like he's not he obviously isn't one of the bigger guys and he's not one of the faster guys, but he's like the 55th percentile in both of those among bigs. So he just makes everything work. And it really helps their defense. Like he's contributing to their defense. I feel like watching them live. Um, really exciting Rockets team. I don't think I even really thought this was a possibility for them. Um, but I like what I'm seeing. I hope they get some offensive help at the deadline. Um, do you have a specific storyline that you want to go to right now?
Yeah, I'll get a couple. Let me get a couple.
Okay.
Because they're like real quick things, or one of them's quick. LeBron, get on my hater stuff real quick. LeBron went 0 for 20 from three over a little 2 week break. He ended up passing Kyle Korver though after he broke it. He broke out of the slump. I thought that was pretty crazy, Pat, especially with the way LeBron's been shooting the rock this year. For him to go 0 for 20 was just absurd. And I don't know. I just wanted to point that out. Second thing, I wish I was more a little bit better on this take, but when we were talking about the Celtics in our preseason episode, I said watch out for number 0, Peyton Pritchard, and he has been balling lately. Pat, he's coming off. I think he's the sixth man right now for the Celtics, and he's been putting up numbers. Uh, he's averaging 15 points per game, but recently he's been dropping like up near like 24 plus, 22, 25, 24, 29, 20. He's really contributing to an already loaded Celtics team. And this is a team that barely has to go that deep because they're getting such great play and they get great minutes from Peyton Pritchard. He's been shooting the ball lights out as well. Just really great stuff to see. He's shooting 43% from the 3 point line. He's showing that he's an elite sharpshooter, and he's just really helping the Celtics team make that finals push. Or when they make the playoffs, he will be a contributor in that finals push.
Yeah, dude. Peyton Pritchard's awesome. He just shoots lights out. His true shooting percentage this year, 67%. Like, that's some shit you see out of Rudy Gobert, who takes just shots around the rim. He's also a pretty good passer. If you want context of how good this guy is, like, just look in the division. Like, this guy starts on 3 of the other 4 teams in the division. He starts on Toronto, he starts on Brooklyn, he starts on Philadelphia, for sure. This guy's awesome. Um, I can't wait to see. I don't know if they're gonna increase his workload. But if he does, like, even if he takes a little tick down efficiency wise, he's already so much above league average that, like, it really wouldn't matter. Like, he's sneakily like a good starting player in this league right now, and he's making $8 million the next 4 years. Like, this is a hit for Boston. Um, I Peyton Pritchard's awesome. Um, I had something on the Warriors, kind of been slowing down lately, falling in the standings a little bit. The Buddy Healed Devil Magic has gone away a little bit. Um, the cycle has come where he goes on a shooting slump and you want him out the rotation. He'll get hot again, I'm sure. But yeah, did you have anything on the Warriors just slowing down a little bit?
Uh, Nothing too crazy. I mean, they're still going to be playing in the cup tomorrow night or a couple nights. It's just a little stretch. I'm not too worried about it.
Mm-hmm. Interesting with it, Draymond has gone to the bench now in favor of Kuminga starting. Um, if I had to guess, this is them trying to figure out if they are going to pay Kuminga, because they know that if they're not going to pay him, they're going to trade him. But if they're going to trade them, they're not going to get the most valuable possible if he's coming off the bench. So they want to start him until they're going to trade him. Or if they're going to pay him, and then he'll probably stay in the starting lineup if that's the case, because then he's worth the contract that he's going to demand. Um, as of right now, like, play wise, him and Draymond are probably about the same as a player, even though the way they get there is pretty differently. Um, I'm fascinated by what's going to happen over the next month or two, because he could still definitely get traded. I don't think him moving into the starting rotation or the starting lineup means he's going to be out of trade talks. How do you generally feel on that?
Yeah, I think I definitely agree. This they're if he plays good and they want to pay him, they're going to keep him. And if he plays good and they're not going to pay him, they're going to trade him. I mean, you said it. I can't. I think that's what they're doing. They're not really setting up any smoke screens. It's pretty obvious. But I mean, I think this could definitely rejuvenate this team, and I think it's the right move, and probably a move that they should have done in the first place at the beginning of the season. Kaminga's been balling lately. I think that's also what a little bit contributed to the move. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if Kaminga's worth all the hype. He's finally gonna get his chance to prove it. So hopefully he does.
Yeah, and I think important as well. Like this move, I think has more to do with the asset of Kaminga versus Draymond playing bad. And
Yeah,
I've seen a little misconception on that because Draymond. I think he's a he's an outgoing guy, but he's a pretty humble dude to where he knows what he is in this league, and he knows that he wants the young guys like Trace Jackson Davis and Kaminga to have a chance to get their money because he knows it's not because of his performance. Um, I think it's a rare Draymond Green W because he's taken a lot of L's the past couple of years. Um, I'd mentioned it a couple times. I need to talk about my Knicks. They've been playing really well the past 2 weeks. They've gotten to the point. It might have changed after the Pistons game uh, the other night, but they have the number one offense in the league. Defense has gotten better since the first week or two, where it was one of the worst situations in the league. Specifically, I need to shout him out because I can be critical of him. Mikal Bridges, since he got benched at the game that I went to in Charlotte, he got benched that game for the fourth quarter, basically. Since that point on, Mikal Bridges has looked a lot more invested defensively, and he's been making his shots. Um, how do we feel with the Knicks rolling? What are your takeaways from this?
yeah. One of the biggest things I've definitely seen is just OG Anunoby's been going crazy too for them. Uh, this is a guy that has been when that trade kind of got acquired. I don't know if like a lot of the NBA community was that you know understanding of how big of a trade that was. But he's been putting up. I mean, he's been going crazy for them. He's shooting 38% from the 3 point line. His defense is always there. He's been grabbing the mic after the games. Um, 25, 18, and then he does stuff on the defensive side as well. If he could be more consistent too, scoring the rock, that could be,
Yeah.
I'm sure that you can maybe speak on that a little bit more, but it's kind of hard to when you have Cat doing what he's been doing. I mean, I've seen Cat in the MVP talks. um, the big bodega has been like, I mean, honestly, I thought the Knicks lost the trade, but now it's really hard to deny that they did at the beginning of the season. Um, and jeez, and Jalen Brunson's playing even better than Cat is. So, like you said, I think off pod you said that Jalen Brunson should be the MVP of the Knicks. This team is playing firing on all cylinders right now, and like you said, now that Mikal Bridges is starting to get that together on defense and figuring it out on offense, this team is looking really good. Deuce McBride is doing good stuff off the bench. Josh Hart is doing what he always does. He's shooting the ball well. He's playing good defense. He's hustling. Uh, this next team is looking like a real contender, like a lot of people thought they would, and me and you did as well.
Mhm. Yeah, they got off to a 6-6 start, and then they fired off 8 of 10. Um, the defense improving a ton, the offense really starting to click. You mentioned Anunoby with shooting consistency. With him, his shot diet is catch and shoot threes, cuts to the rim, which end up being dunks a lot for him because of how athletic he is. Um, that's essentially it. Sometimes there's a pull-up mid-range jumper in there, just when stuff breaks down. Um, they're not running offense for him. Uh, they
I
run a
figured.
they run a little bit of offense for Mikal Bridges. He sucks when they run offense for them. When he does the OG and Anobi thing and just takes good basketball shots, Mikal Bridges has been perfectly fine this year. And they kind of tapped into that a little bit more past week or two. I expect that to happen. Did you see the Ananobi play against the Pistons the other day?
I don't think I did.
Um, so teams shoot free throws. They have the offensive team has their center with two guys on that
Yeah,
side
yeah,
boxing out the
yeah,
center, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
The other side's a one-on-one box out situation. Anunoby is in the side where it's a one-on-one box out. I think against Tobias Harris, or like Ron Holland or somebody like that, like not a like
Yeah,
super
yeah.
big guy. Anunoby just does a two-step and gets a putback dunk on a free throw. Like some wild shit that I've never seen before. Um, just bringing that up, I thought that was probably one of the funniest things I've seen. That on top of the Obi Toppin hitting the ball out of uh the the shot clock, like the ball was stuck in the shot
Yeah,
clock. Obi
yeah,
Toppin
yeah. That
goes up
was
and getting it.
crazy.
Fucking crazy stuff that you'll see day to day watching NBA basketball. Um, yeah, I'll let you go ahead. Do you have any big storylines that you had lined up?
Yeah, I'll talk about the Lakers. They've been struggling, Pat. When it's not just I'm not talking about the LeBron 20 points or the LeBron 3 point stuff anymore. Uh, their defense has been really bad, or not their defense. Their offense has been bad, and their defense has been bad. They've been getting blown
Yeah,
out recently a lot. Namely to the Heat. Like they literally lost by like 40 points to the
yeah,
Heat, and the Heat put up 134. Um, and they've had multiple blowouts. They lost to the Timberwolves by 30. They barely beat the Jazz. Uh, Pat, do you know what's been? Have you been seeing the same things I've been seeing? What like what's going on? Do you think? Do you have any answers? Like I don't know. It's just been so crazy, especially because JJ Redick seems like such a good coach, and I'm not saying that he isn't. Um, but yeah, they're definitely declining right now.
yeah. To me, what this feels like is the roster is still built for a almost prime LeBron James,
Mm,
and they don't have an almost prime LeBron James anymore. This is the first time LeBron's ever really looked old to me, and he looks considerably worse. Redick does the smart thing to give the ball to Anthony Davis more. What that then does is Anthony Davis can't be this one man defense. He really wasn't able to do that last year anyway, but now he really can't do it. Um, there will probably be some roster shuffling for this team, but at this point, I don't know if the window is still open just because of LeBron James's age. Um, because what it basically does now is you need a point guard out there to take the ball out of LeBron's hands more. But then that point guard's Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, like who is it? Either way, that guy's not good at defense. Then you have LeBron who can't go out there and play defense every day. So now, like, you kind of have to have two guys who can't play defense out there on the floor for you. Um, and then it just it's a nightmare to construct a roster around a guy who can't, like a forward who can't play defense anymore,
yeah.
night to night in their NBA career. Furthering on this, where do you think LeBron is right now in terms of players in the NBA? I'll
I'm
throw this.
thinking I'm thinking B plus in that kind of range.
Okay,
I don't know like does that make sense? That tier ranging.
I guess so. I'll say
I
this.
don't know. I don't know. I don't I give me some tiers. Give me some tiers or
Here,
something like
I'll give a player 1-to-1 that I think
okay.
a player who I've been kind of critical of compared to common opinion is Jaylen Brown, and I think right now I would rather have Jaylen Brown than LeBron James on this Lakers team. Um, and
Mm, okay, yeah.
maybe that doesn't say much to like how good of a player the two are right now. Like maybe that doesn't mean Jaylen Brown's better, but like it also kind of does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, because your average team is going to have a pretty poor defensive point guard. Um, I don't know. I feel like at this point in his career, LeBron just isn't that top 10 guy. I feel pretty comfortable saying that right now. Um, what else do you have lined up here?
The Bucks and Celtics have sort of a rivalry kind of brewing. Uh,
Yeah.
Mainly just because Jaylen Brown is an elite level of pettiness. I don't think Giannis really cares that much, but Jaylen Brown is making it a point at the most recent game they played 2 days ago or December. The last couple games, the second to last game they just played. Um, every time Brown would score, he would like he would shoulder bump Giannis or give him the too small. He's so mad about that fake handshake. Like I don't understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean we're seeing a little bit of a rivalry kind of brewing. A Bucks Celtics playoff matchup, a healthy Bucks team in the playoffs this year. I'm telling you, will be cinema if it happens. Another thing I wanted to say, Pelicans just keep getting worse. They got Herb Jones back, and Brandon Ingram got hurt, and he's out for a while. Right? I'm not mistaken on that.
Brandon Ingram's out for a while.
Yeah, or at least
I
he
believe
sprained
it.
his ankle. I think he sprained his. He did something. Yeah, out indefinitely with his sprained ankle. So
Of
yeah,
course.
just not good. Also could be big for trade stuff. I saw that the Lakers are kind of now not really interested in Brandon Ingram. I saw that was definitely a place that he could have possibly went. Um.
Yeah.
Oh, Cade Cunningham absolutely laid the boom on Derek White. That dunk.
Wait,
Uh,
how have I not
over.
seen this?
You haven't seen it?
As like the Cade Cunningham supporter, I haven't seen this. Go ahead,
Yeah.
keep
So
talking. I'll look it up.
yeah, Cade Cunningham just caught a body. I forget when it was, but like it was either last week or the week before. But yeah, he drove down and just absolutely caught a body over Derek White. Just fun to see, man. Especially because Derek White's one of the better shot blocking guards, and you know,
Yeah, Cade Cunningham in general has been playing really well this offseason. I'm watching it live. Okay, okay, yeah, he threw it down on him.
okay, yeah,
He threw it down on
better get
Derek
the
White.
confirmation.
um, I've seen a lot of LaMelo Ball propaganda. Cade Cunningham's playing just as well as LaMelo Ball.
Lamelo's just doing it a lot flashier. That's why they've seen so much propaganda.
Yeah, uh, Cade Cunningham's doing the same thing night in, night out.
What's up?
He's slower and
Yeah.
more in control. Um, so it's not as flashy, but it's just as good basketball. I really like what Cade Cunningham's doing. I like what LaMelo Ball's doing. I think they're both playing great. Um, let's see. How do we feel now about Orlando? Because I wrote down at the beginning Franz Wagner's hurt. Paolo's coming
I
back
think,
this week at some point.
yeah, yeah.
I feel like they're just gonna coast until Franz is back and do the same thing they just did when Paolo was out. I feel like they're
Yep.
fundamentally the same player. And I texted you the other day, like, Franz might be a little bit better. And I feel like that's a very unpopular opinion, but you look just purely at what they do.
Oh yeah.
They're both
I
playmaking
kind of
forwards.
I was disagreeing a little bit when you texted me that, but
I think Franz is just,
just on the better point. Just on the better point. I agree that they're. I
yeah.
definitely yeah.
I think
But I
potential-wise, Paolo is much better because he's so much better of an athlete. He's a lot stronger of a guy. Like he's wider shoulder-wise. So he's already like has a higher capability, just packing on strength. Um, he's a better athlete too. But as of right now, like Franz just has a certain level of mastery to operating pick and rolls, throwing skip passes that just Pilot hasn't quite developed yet. And I think we talked about Franz's jumper going away last year. It's kind of back. It's not like elite right now, but I think it is at the point where like it's probably a little bit better than Palos. Um, either way, I love both these players. I think they're both awesome. Um,
yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think until Paolo's back, it might be a little bit rough, but once Paolo is back, things will be basically pretty much the same. And then when Franz gets back, then they might be vying for that 1 seed. Who knows? It's the East. Anything could happen.
Yeah, currently they're 4.5 out, third place. Crazier things have happened.
It's true.
Let's see, 2025 Orlando Magic. There we
Maggots.
go. I guess so. They are third in defensive rating, 24th in offensive rating.
How
They're a
about
very
Goga?
good team. Goga's awesome. I threw
Goga's
in
been
trade
Goga's
rumors.
been Goga's been getting buckets too. Like he's been getting points. I think I saw he
Yeah,
had like 22 and 16 the other night.
I think the trade I lined up with him going to Lakers, I don't think it's even possible anymore. I don't think Orlando would trade Goga. They've been starting him with Wendell Carter too. Have you noticed that? Um, they've been doing a little bit since Paolo's been out. It's been working. De Silva, he's like your
What
budget,
was the thing? It was like the
the German national team.
yeah, the Magic are running out the German national team minus Schroeder.
Yeah. So have you seen since Franz went down? A lot of people were talking about the East, and they said the East All Star team is just going to be a
Yeah.
Knicks, Cavs, and Celtics joint practice.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. It's gonna be like when the Hawks had like five all stars, except all the all stars are just gonna be from 3 teams.
Yeah. Let's quickly go through. So All Stars in the East. There's 12. There's going to
Mm-hmm.
be two guards, or there's going to be four guards.
Mm-hmm.
So Brunson, Mitchell,
Young,
Trae Young probably gets one. Dame, Cade Cunningham, or LaMelo Ball?
LaMelo. I'd probably give it to Cade.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, I'd probably give it to Cade.
We look at forwards. I mean, by the way, we're doing this on the
Um,
fly, guys. So
I would give it to Cade, but I think Dame might get the nod.
yeah, forwards, Tatum for sure gets one.
Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson should be an All
Jalen
Star this
Johnson's
year.
play.
I think Jalen Johnson could make a case to be an All Star this year.
Giannis makes a forward spot.
Giannis does make a forward spot. How many forwards are there? 4, you said? 2
4.
centers?
By default, both of the Orlando guys might not have played enough between Paulo and Franz. I think that's Mobley probably makes a forward spot just out of because he's been good
Mobley
too.
deserves it for sure. And then
Center,
does a
two
Nick
centers,
get in?
Anunoby maybe.
Maybe. Is it fan voting? Is All Star fan voting?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why I don't know.
for center, I think Towns is gonna be the starter.
Yeah, I was about to say Cat, and Jared Allen. Probably.
Allen, yeah, Porzingis hasn't played much.
Porzingis can't. Nah, I mean he's back, but he doesn't play back to back, so he doesn't play that much. Bam.
Embiid's not gonna play enough. Bam has had a rough start to the year.
Bam's had a rough start, yeah. So I don't know. I'm not giving it. I'm not giving Bam the nod over Cat or Allen.
Yeah, this is like an on-the-fly all-star current thing. We weren't expecting to do this. I wasn't, at least. I mean, the East, it's gonna have non all-stars from those teams, but
Yeah.
it's gonna have like at least 2 players from each team, and I would expect on average it's probably 2 or 3, depending
And
on what
Jordan Poole.
Anunoby does. Yeah, Jordan Poole. He played good against Denver the other day.
He was going like this.
Pool party.
That was so hard.
All right. Do you have any other storylines?
No, I think I got all mine out of the way.
Okay. I've also gotten all my storylines. I'm not gonna do the rookie who are gonna be good players for the rest of their career ladder for this week. I'll do it in 10 days when we do the next episode of this. MVP ladder.
Yeah, so we got a little bit of a shake up, but I'm keeping things the same. Some guys that were kind of, you know, that are going for that 5 spot right now. I think Luka is making a really good case right now. I think Franz, before he got hurt, maybe could be making a case. And I think Karl Anthony Towns, don't shoot me, Pat, but he could also make a case. But at number 5, I'm sticking with Anthony Davis. Or are we going 5? I go 5-1.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go 5-1.
Anthony Davis. Even though the Lakers are struggling a little bit, he's still putting up the great numbers that he is. So he stays at my 5 spot. Number 4, Jason Tatum, still doing his things. And he's playing well. He's performing well. He has the Celtics as the number 1 seed, number 1 option on that team. At number 4, we have SGA. The Thunder have been. We didn't really talk about the Thunder, but they're still they've survived the Chet Holmgren thing for now. Isaiah Hartenstein's been playing good ball, but SGA has been playing great ball, carrying this team. That's why he's at my 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2, a guy that we talked about a lot in this episode, and a guy that really isn't getting that much recognition for the MVP ladder, which makes no sense to me. And it's Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's averaging a double-double. He's averaging 30 points a game. This Bucks team was 1-8 or like 2-9. They are now 12-11 in the 6th seed. They'll probably be a top 3 seed just because of him. I remember people were like, "Oh, but the Bucks aren't going to be high enough." Well, yeah. So, guess what happened? And then number 1. I mean, it's kind of silly doing this MVP ladder every week because we know who's going to win. It's one of the greatest basketball players we've ever seen. Just straight like NBA basketball players. And that's Nikola Jokic. Let me just read off some of his point totals recently. Most of these are actually all of these are with double doubles and some triple doubles. 48 points, 56 points, 27 points, 38, 28, 30. He had a triple double against Cleveland. He had a triple double against the Clippers. It's insane, Pat. It's really insane. And he's shooting well from the 3-point line. He's shooting 50%.
Yeah.
Definitely not shooting that many 3-pointers a game. But this is probably going to be he's probably going to be MVP this year, right? It's hard to deny it. That's going to be 4
or
3. 4 should be 5.
An exclusive list.
Should be 5. But
Jokic is awesome. I believe the stat going around was like the Nuggets offensive rating, net rating, field goal percentage, free throw percentage, something else. When Jokic was on the floor, it was like first and second in everything. And then when Jokic was off the floor, it was 29th or 30th in everything. Like,
yeah.
He's playing at an all-time like great level. Like the title of our last recap episode was Jokic's peak, and the thumbnail said best center ever, and I don't think that is a crazy exaggeration. Like he's playing that good.
Also, he's playing really good defense. I forgot to mention that, but his defense has been really good. He's actually like he's a hard guy to post up, and he's won a couple games recently, just because of his defense and altering the last shot or blocking it even. So
he's the type of guy who he's not going to make you shoot a worse percentage at the rim, but he's going to decrease the amount of attempts that you have at the rim. He's like, you have the graph here, like the x-axis is do you make guys shoot worse at the rim, and the y-axis is do you make guys shoot less attempts at the rim, and Jokic is like in the middle but all the way up here. That's how it's been for a couple of years now. It's big being in the right position. He has really good hands and really good instincts for the game. The other day he like called out the Timberwolves play. That was like 3 weeks ago now, but just stuff like that, like he does every day. And offensively, like you might not think his game's that crazy, but nobody is stopping that hook shot. Like nobody does it. So
Oh,
I I
yeah.
I don't know. We don't do all-time rankings very often here. I don't know. He might. Is he the best center ever? Like I don't know. At least in a
I don't know. You know I'm a
pure
Shaq meat writer,
talent
so
wise. Yeah, pure talent wise, like I think
no, yeah.
I think he's probably the best center ever. Like greatness, definitely not. But
He's literally like unstoppable. Like just watching him play, it's he's unstoppable. Like when he does his little rip through to get a bucket, he gets through every time. It's
running 12
crazy.
miles per hour,
Yeah.
getting 4 inches off the ground, and he makes it, and you're like, what the fuck?
And it seems like this is like the year that he's most caring about basketball.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's just something I've noticed, kind of.
it's like you don't think he's that impressive, but then you realize he has a superpower where he makes every shot between 0 to 6 feet, and then if he misses, he gets the rebound. Even though he doesn't jump over you, he just taps it to himself 3 times, gets the rebound. Um, he's such a great player. I like that you brought up Shaq. Comparing him to Lakers Shaq, how good do you think he is on defense? Because I was thinking about this the other day, and I feel like they're like really similar defensively.
I don't know. I feel like their defensive ways are very different. You know, like
Yeah,
Shaq's more the high fly block kind of guy, whereas Jokic, like you said, makes them alter. They don't go up and they keep like I don't know. I mean, if you're saying like they're both effective, like them like
their
their
level of
effectiveness,
effectiveness. Yeah,
yeah, being the same, I could definitely see that. Yes, but like I feel like Shaq's more of like a dominant force. I don't
yeah,
know. That makes sense. But I can definitely see your where I definitely understand that. Yeah.
yeah. And like I haven't run the numbers for this,
No, yeah, exactly.
so like I'm not really stamping this. But I'm saying it's a possibility, especially with Lakers Shaq. Orlando, like it's Shaq and Orlando probably still washes Jokic on defense, but once he gets a little heavier in Los Angeles, a little more slow-footed,
Celtics
like
Shaq.
not Celtics Shaq, man, anything but Celtics Shaq. And then
Celtics Shaq or
we didn't even mention rebounding. Like
oh yeah. No,
half of
it's
half of what makes Houston's offense passable is just they rebound on offense so often. I like how does this go away with Nikola Jokic in a playoff series? Like I that's why I'm concerned about maybe not Houston in the playoffs. Just there's certain matchups that I think could give them problems. Just if teams can
yeah.
secure rebounds. Um, I guess we just talked about Jokic for 10 minutes and not any of the other guys. Shea, I had an interesting thing. Since Hardenstein's come back, the pick and roll game looks a lot better. Like when Chet was out, like they really didn't have a good screen setter, roll threat guy. Isaiah Hardenstein is like I think better than Chet in that area of the game as a screener, roller, and
Oh
distributor
yeah.
out of the pick and roll. Like
Oh
that
yeah.
is his superpower, and Shea's looks so much better since there's been another center there screening for him. And I think he's improved defensively too. Um, an interesting ladder for me is like the heavy offensive load guards defensive ladder. um, so like the guards who
No, yeah. With
do a
high
lot on
usage.
offense, yeah, which one of them's are great on defense? I think Shea, like for the past like 4 years, has been the number one guy there. Um, there's
Trey.
probably
Trey
the,
Young.
Trey Young's got to be number one. Trey Young's gotten
Trey
better.
Young's last on that list.
Cam Thomas is worse.
Yeah, probably.
Trey Young's gotten a little bit better, but he's still limited. Luka's probably worse too than Trey Young. Uh, before we rattle off any other hot takes, do you have anything else to touch on?
No, I'm ready for these cup games though. I honestly am. I think
Yeah,
it's going to be very good, and I think whoever comes out of it, like the championship, should be good too. So
yeah. They start Wednesday, I think.
yeah, yeah.
It'll
For
be
some
fun,
reason, only the Knicks play tonight. It's weird. It's Knicks Raptors tonight. That's it.
and that's not even a cup game. I don't know why.
No, it's not even a cup game. Yeah, it's so
Yeah,
weird. Like, yeah, I don't know what they're doing, but whatever.
yeah. We'll see. I would have thought. I mean, I guess everybody who's not in the cup plays on Tuesday, right? That's got to be how it
Mm-mm.
works.
There's only one game today.
No, tomorrow.
There's only 4 games tomorrow. There's only 2 games tomorrow. It's the cup games.
Wait, the Knicks are playing back to back.
Yeah.
What the hell? Why are they playing back to back before a cup game?
Oh wait. Oh wait. No, y'all play Wednesday. Y'all play Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah.
Tuesday is Magic Bucks, Mavs Thunder. But those are both cup games.
Okay. I see what's going on. Okay. This makes sense. Okay. A little bit of confusion there. We'll talk about the results of the cup in 10 days because we'll have it by then. Um, Trades, they're coming soon. I hope so. Uh, it's about a calendar year from when
Valachunas. Bye bye.
it's about a calendar year from when Anunoby got traded last year. First big trade last year. Expect some to start coming in. Um, yeah,
Next coming weeks.
yeah. Following this episode, I guess in like 4 days we'll have another NBA episode coming out. Um, we're not sure exactly what that is yet. Um, we'll know within the next 4 days, and then MLB episode will be next Wednesday, and then bi-weekly recap on next Friday, whenever that is. So we will see you guys then.